Hi, I'm Matt Hudson, author of The Saboteur Within, the definitive guide to eliminating self-sabotage. And if you're listening now, you'll be wanting to find out a little bit more about hypnosis and a treatment for tinnitus. Now, fortunately for you, I had tinnitus. I say had tinnitus about 20 years ago now. And I remember it had started even earlier. I can still remember the event. I was in the Air Force at the time, and I was sitting in my one-man room, relaxing, and there was just a noise, like a bass noise. It was driving me crazy. And I'm thinking, what the heck's this noise? So by then I started getting a bit angry because I'm thinking somebody's playing their music in one of the other rooms, and it's, that's the sort of which some of you might have, and some of you might have that like ringing. So I went through this process, and I still remember, banging on a guy's door, and I went, he opens the door, and there's no noise in the room, and I thought, well, somebody's got their music on somewhere, and they're all looking at me like I'm crazy. But actually, that was the beginning of tinnitus for me, and it would be a few years of I used to drink alcohol to just try and get me through it. Because the silent summer nights used to just drive me crazy. So if that's you, I've been there, and fortunately for me, I got through it and I got past it. And I remember chatting to a few doctors at the time about the ENT approach, because there was, I think, about 2,500 new sufferers each year back then. Goodness knows how many people are suffering today. But you just had to put up with it. And I thought, well, that's just not good enough, is it? So using hypnosis, it allowed me to, I was sort of thinking to myself, what if? Because I remember I had a hearing operation, and in the surgeon's office was a very large ear, like huge ear. And I said, wow, can you show me where the tinnitus is? And this consultant, an ear consultant, ENT consultant, looks at me, and he's a little bit pink, a little bit embarrassed, and he says, well, actually, I can't. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we still can't decide how people have it. And I thought, wow. I was happy, and he says, you seem happy with that information? I said, oh yes. I said, because you just told me that my mind can impact this. And he said, well, he was saying, but I wasn't listening anymore, because I had enough information to know that if they're not able to point at this physically, then we must be able to do something. And that's when I started using hypnosis for this particular condition. And like I say, it worked. What can I tell you? Here I am, 25 plus years later, and no tinnitus. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So if I can help you with this, it'll be my pleasure. Just when those silent night comes, just to actually appreciate the silence.